Have you ever noticed that in many relationships, one partner seems to be giving more effort than the other? You're the one always texting first, adjusting your schedule to match hers, making sure the connection never fades. At first, it feels rewarding, even noble. But over time, something subtle happens. You start to feel invisible, taken for granted, or replaceable. Here's the hard truth most men never hear. When a woman senses that she can't lose you, her fear of losing you disappears. And when fear disappears, respect diminishes. Women are naturally drawn to what feels scarce, unpredictable, and valuable, not what is guaranteed. Constant availability and unquestioned loyalty, though well-intentioned, can slowly lower tension and reduce attraction. This isn't about manipulation, tricks, or playing games. It's about understanding human psychology and applying simple shifts that restore respect, tension, and the perception of value. These shifts are not about pretending to be someone else. They are about reclaiming the position you were meant to hold, confident, self-assured, and grounded. In this video, we'll explore 9 psychology-backed shifts that reignite the subtle dynamics of respect and attraction, from developing a stronger masculine presence to maintaining independence to setting clear boundaries. Each step is designed to help you regain influence in a way that feels natural, authentic, and powerful. If you've ever felt like the backup plan, like your effort isn't matched, or like the power dynamic is slowly shifting against you, this guide is for you. By the end, you'll understand not just what women respond to, but why they respond to it, and how to naturally restore balance without drama or desperation. Attraction is often misunderstood. Many men believe that women are drawn to masculinity because it looks impressive or dominant. In reality, women respond to masculinity because it signals strength, independence, and optionality, qualities that are unpredictable and engaging on a biological and psychological level. Masculine energy communicates that you are not automatically tied down, and that awareness subtly triggers respect and attention. Consider 2 men in a relationship. The first agrees with everything she says, constantly reassures her, over-explains intentions, and adapts to her every mood. He is safe, predictable, and comfortable. But that comfort can reduce attraction over time. The second man listens attentively, speaks deliberately, and expresses his opinions with confidence. He makes decisions independently and doesn't seek approval for every action. He feels solid, grounded, and emotionally steady. Here's the key difference. Safe is comfortable. Solid is powerful. Women relax around the first man, but their attention wanes. With the second, their respect grows, and the subtle tension that fuels attraction remains alive. Developing a strong masculine persona doesn't mean becoming aggressive, cold, or emotionally distant. It means holding a firm frame, speaking with clarity, and valuing yourself enough not to over-validate. Mystery is not manipulation. It's emotional restraint. By maintaining composure, reducing the need for approval, and making decisions confidently, you naturally become someone she respects and fears losing. Remember, attraction thrives on tension, independence, and the perception that you have options. When you embrace this masculine energy, you're not just showing strength. You're creating an environment where she invests in you, respects your presence, and feels the subtle fear of losing a man who is grounded, confident, and self-assured. One of the most common mistakes men make in relationships is abandoning their friends, hobbies, and male support networks for the sake of their partner. At first, canceling a poker night, skipping gym sessions, or leaving group chats may seem like a sign of devotion, but over time, this pattern can shrink your perceived value in her eyes. Women are naturally attuned to influence and social dynamics. When a man becomes entirely dependent on her for emotional support or validation, she unconsciously realizes that she holds more control than she should. That control diminishes attraction and reduces the subtle tension that makes a relationship exciting. Maintaining your male tribe is not just about friendship. It's about grounding, perspective, and personal growth. Friendships with men provide challenges, social energy, and accountability that keep you sharp, confident, and independent. By showing that your life exists outside the relationship, you create natural scarcity and maintain a sense of autonomy that commands respect. Think of it this way: a man who is emotionally domesticated by his relationship becomes predictable and easy to replace. A man who invests in his tribe signals strength, confidence, and a life that is full even without her constant presence. That awareness makes her more attentive and engaged because she senses that access to you is not guaranteed, it is earned. So continue your routines, pursue male-centered activities, and nurture friendships that challenge you. Your partner should be part of your world, not the entirety of it. When you establish this balance, you create healthy tension, reinforce respect, and remind her that your life is rich, independent, and worth valuing. Expanding your social circle to include women isn't about flirting or creating jealousy. It's about social proof and demonstrating that you are naturally valued and respected by others. Women are wired to respond to men who are seen as desired by others. This principle, known as pre-selection, shows that your worth is validated externally, not just by your own words or actions. Imagine a casual social setting. You're relaxed, confident, and engaged in conversation. A female coworker laughs at something you said, or another woman greets you warmly. Nothing inappropriate, just natural social interactions. Observe how subtle shifts occur. She becomes more attentive, her tone softens, and her body language signals heightened interest. Why? Because she notices that other women enjoy your presence, which increases your perceived value. The key here is authenticity and natural abundance. You're not seeking attention to provoke her or compete for validation. You're simply living a socially rich life where your presence is appreciated. Professional networks, co-ed hobbies, and casual social interactions all serve to reinforce that your world is full, interesting, and independent of her approval. Women don't chase men who appear isolated or solely dependent on them. They chase men who are wanted, respected, and confident in their social environment. By expanding your circle naturally, you create subtle tension and respect, encouraging her to invest more consciously and attentively in the relationship. One of the biggest mistakes men make in relationships is acting from fear of loss. When you worry that she might leave, lose interest, or find someone better, that anxiety subtly changes your behavior. You become hyper-available, over-explain your intentions, double-check her moods, and prioritize her feelings above your goals. What you think is protecting the relationship is actually undermining your value. Psychology is clear: scarcity creates value, desperation destroys it. When a man fears losing a woman, he becomes predictable, compliant, and emotionally dependent. He signals that he is the prize and she can be in control of the dynamic. That shifts the balance of attraction away from him. The solution is simple, but often counterintuitive. Regain emotional independence. Before she entered your life, you had routines, goals, friendships, and purpose. You were whole. Embrace that completeness again. Structure your life around your priorities, not her availability. Delay responses when necessary, not as a game, but because your attention is valuable. Maintain calm and emotional steadiness in moments of tension, rather than overreacting or seeking constant reassurance. When you stop fearing loss, something remarkable happens. She begins to sense the possibility of losing you. That subtle awareness activates attention, respect, and investment. Emotional steadiness signals dominance without aggression. It shows you led from confidence, not need. Remember this paradox. In relationships, the one who fears less naturally leads more. By regulating your own emotional state, prioritizing your life, and demonstrating self-sufficiency, you create an environment where she values your presence, respects your boundaries, and fears losing the man she truly respects. Many men enter relationships wearing a version of themselves they think will be accepted. They soften opinions, laugh at things they don't find funny, tolerate behaviors that subtly frustrate them, all to maintain harmony and avoid conflict. While this might feel safe, it comes at a steep cost. Women can sense incongruence, even if they don't consciously call it out. Emotional intuition is often sharper than logic, and when your words don't align with your inner state, respect and attraction gradually diminish. Authenticity is about showing who you truly are, even if it introduces friction. For example, if she says something you disagree with, calmly respond with, "I see it differently," rather than nodding along to please her. If a behavior bothers you, address it directly but respectfully. This grounded honesty communicates confidence, self respect, and emotional stability, all qualities that increase attraction and value. Distinct men are harder to replace. They do not perform to earn approval. Their presence is defined by internal standards and personal integrity. By embracing authenticity, you signal that your identity is not contingent on her validation. This creates healthy polarity, a subtle tension that keeps her invested. Remember, authenticity is not oversharing or being abrasive. It is expressing yourself clearly, calmly, and consistently, aligning your actions with your values. A man who hides himself for approval is already preparing to be replaceable. A man who is authentic becomes irreplaceable, commanding respect, attention, and deeper connection naturally. Boundaries are one of the most overlooked yet powerful tools in relationships. Many men avoid enforcing them, thinking it will protect harmony, but this often leads to diminished respect and attraction. Women do not fall deeply in love with men they can easily bend. Attraction grows when there is structure, consistency, and self-respect. Most boundary issues start subtly. Repeated late responses, sarcastic remarks, last-minute cancellations, or small disrespectful behaviors. Ignoring these early signs or over-accommodating only lowers your perceived threshold, signaling that your standards are negotiable. Setting boundaries is not about control or punishment. It's about defining yourself clearly and calmly. When behavior crosses a line, respond with composure. "I'm not comfortable with that." Use a steady tone, no anger, no dramatics, just clarity. If the behavior continues, implement natural consequences, reduced availability, decreased engagement, or limiting certain privileges, not as retribution, but as alignment with your standards. Consistency is key. Each time you uphold a boundary, you reinforce self-worth and demonstrate that your presence is earned, not guaranteed. Women instinctively respond to men who value themselves over avoiding conflict because it signals strength, confidence, and independence. Remember, boundaries create tension and respect, not resentment. A man who defines his limits teaches others, including his partner, how to treat him. Over time, a woman will naturally calibrate her behavior, becoming more careful, attentive, and aligned with your values. A relationship without boundaries can lead to complacency. A relationship with clear, calm boundaries fosters mutual respect, admiration, and sustainable attraction. There's a profound difference between anger and disappointment, and understanding it can dramatically impact your relationship. Anger is loud, reactive, and emotional. Disappointment, on the other hand, is calm, controlled, and psychologically powerful. When a woman crosses a boundary, breaks trust, or acts against your standards, your response shapes her future behavior. Many men either overreact with anger or pretend nothing happened. Both approaches reduce influence. Anger signals instability, while silence signals tolerance. Controlled disappointment communicates subtle recalibration. A measured reaction, slightly withdrawing your energy, communicates that her actions have consequences and that your presence is valuable. For example, if she lies about something minor or misses a commitment, instead of arguing or over-explaining, calmly say, "That's not acceptable." Withdraw slightly. Less attention, shorter responses, or reduced engagement, not out of manipulation, but to realign her behavior with your standards. This creates healthy tension. Psychologically, women invest more when they feel they must earn respect and attention rather than assuming it's guaranteed. Disappointment is more effective than indifference because it conveys expectation, standards, and self-worth. When used appropriately, it subtly encourages careful, intentional behavior, strengthening the respect and admiration she feels for you. Controlled disappointment is not about being harsh. It's about maintaining integrity while reinforcing your values. A man who sets clear expectations without drama naturally inspires respect, attention, and emotional investment. Many men believe that constant emotional availability proves devotion and secures attraction. They answer every call immediately, respond to every text within seconds, and stay up late absorbing repetitive emotional concerns. While this may feel supportive initially, it ultimately lowers tension, reduces mystery, and diminishes attraction. Emotional unavailability is not about ignoring or disrespecting her, it's about controlled access. Your attention is valuable, and when it is offered selectively, it creates awareness of your independence and worth. For example, respond thoughtfully when you are free rather than immediately interrupting your priorities. Maintain focus on work, goals, or personal growth even if she expects your full attention. When a man becomes her constant emotional outlet, he becomes predictable and emotionally expendable. By contrast, a man who balances availability with independence maintains intrigue and subtle tension. Small emotional gaps, pausing a response, limiting emotional absorption, or keeping personal space create awareness that your presence is not guaranteed, prompting respect and attention. The key is consistency and authenticity. Emotional gaps should not be used as manipulation or to create jealousy. They exist naturally because your life is structured around priorities beyond the relationship. When she notices that your energy is valuable and finite, she recalibrates her behavior, invests more consciously, and appreciates your presence. Remember, mystery and optionality sustain attraction. A man who is always present loses the dynamic that fosters respect. A man who manages his emotional availability thoughtfully becomes more magnetic, commanding attention without force and ensuring that his relationship remains balanced, respectful, and deeply engaging.